Jesus. All right. Ah, come on. Howdy to two people who I'm not sure who is. Feel free to let me know who you are, but currently... Oh, that's why. I haven't had a sip of my coffee yet this morning. That's why I'm messing up all these interchanges. Got the New York Central mug as well, because we're on theme for the TISM today. Biggest downside I'm discovering is that currently my computer doesn't love running all of these things at one time. I might actually turn some stuff off. GPU should be fine, but it's probably my CPU that is blowing up, because after 3 years of heavy video editing on this thing, it doesn't love me anymore. And that's never fun. So this, for those of you watching that do not know much about this game, which includes myself, I'm very early into it. There is not a whole lot of variation, at least early game from what I understand. It's a lot of switching puzzles, which I kind of enjoy. It's part of the reason I play it. I like trains, and I like switching them around. Before that guy goes, I'm gonna tell this one to not move, because if I don't, it will. Bring these all over to your depot. How many passengers we got waiting? 30, not horrible. Alright, and keep this a-rolling. Thanks, Frog Samurai. Yeah, I fully agree. Trains are good. Yeah, hope you don't mind the chill vibes. This is my first cup of coffee. I'm really just trying to like hang. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. But otherwise, I'm probably just gonna chill and focus on the game if that's cool. Nice, 53 more bucks, which is exactly what we need because we want to afford a new engine. Oh wait, hold up. Before we move this guy around, let's get these passengers on their way back. Orders, road, reverse, 25. Let's make sure it actually goes. There we go. Nice. And we keep on keeping on. Not quite far enough. Good there. I'm really waiting for those logs to get off of that last flat car over there because that's how we're making some real bank. Because we're trying, right now I got 9,400. I need a new passenger car, and I'm probably going to need a new locomotive sooner than later. So that's what we're saving up for. So for now, let's get this guy on the roll. And I gotta bring this car over to the East Whittier interchange. And then this guy, just AI running with passengers right now. Because it is easier to run passengers on AI, as far as I'm aware, compared to a lot of switching tasks. sometimes you gotta pay attention because they don't actually switch occasionally for whatever reason. Do I try it? Do I try the... I can't remember what that technique is called, but there's a way to do it where you like... I'm going quick, that might like screw it up. Oh, can I do it? Oh, we did it. Let's go. It's coming in a little quick though. Nice. Huge. Saves a lot of time. Do you have to oil each car independently, or is it each set of wheels? I think it's each car. Okay, yeah, definitely. Definitely want to make sure that I do this, because I just saw a video recently of some guy got his car hotboxed, which, believe it or not, does not have the same meaning outside of railroading. It's basically when, like, your bearings, I think it's your bearings fail, and the whole thing starts to freak out, and you can, like, lose your wheels. I think that's what happened in East Palestine. Ooh, yeah, 30%, not great. Oh, I should check the passenger car. That thing's probably, like, ready to explode. Huh. Interesting. Alright, well. Equipment, 89, brake cylinder, passenger, going to Ella. 36 waiting, cool. Let that load up. Make sure I got all these. Yep. Nope. Nice. Alright, I think I gotta go to Ella. So... Cool. Come on, stop freaking out. So I have to go to where the other train is with this train because Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. I have to go all the way to the other. Um, I gotta go to the other station with the other one as well. I guess I could. Oh, right. But since I'm here, let me actually. 42, good, alright. Orders, road, forward, 25, and then location, let's go to L station. Where's the one? There we go. You need to come with me. I think I know what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna make the passenger train, maneuver these, get these out of the way, put them on this track, swap them, run with the passenger car back forward, and then that one on the back, and then at is this what I'm thinking of? Yeah, and then when we get to Whittier, we'll throw it onto this track with the other locomotive ready to go, so that way we can keep passenger service here. So we should bring number 2 up, and we shall. Select orders road 15 for now until it gets out of the yard. And then what are the other waybills? Freight, so we've got... Okay, so it's all the sawmill stuff. That's not bad. Ella Farm Supply. Let's get to the station because that's where the waybills usually are. Okay, and then it should just be... Yeah, that guy back there to the interchange. So we're good. Oh, that is some progressively colder coffee. How do we... Oh, like that. There we go. Alright, let's switch over to manual, and let's get this puppy moving. Cool. So I think. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. That's not what that means. I thought we had a derailment. I'm just an idiot. Awesome. Wait. Cool. Alright, we're good. Let's go. Didn't want to do that. Alright, whatever. We'll just do it the normal way. Ooh, too soon. God damn it. I keep doing that. Alright, we ready to roll? I think we're ready to roll. Sweet. Orders, road, reverse, 25. Let's ride. Bonjour. Alright, while we watch this train go to the next station, I'm getting more coffee. I kind of like this aspect of this game because you can be as manual or as automated as you want to an extent, at least in terms of the main line running. Main line, it's all a branch line, but still. So for anybody who's interested, what we're currently doing is, in addition to passenger service, because it's easier to just use the one locomotive, we're running this guy, which needs to go to this interchange with all of the other cars that are set to go out, and we are going to run it to here, where this locomotive is waiting to pick it up, instead of the passenger locomotive going beyond this station. So that way we can just keep that running properly. But I'm gonna try and do what I did at the interchange, but going faster this time, where I uncouple the glad hands and the coupler so it goes and rolls onto a separate track. But we'll see how that works. Audrey and Kellen, what's good? Glad you guys could make it. Ugh. We are currently running mixed service right now. Just driving trains. We're just driving trains. I'm gonna try and get a little cheeky with it in a minute, but because I think that is... Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, that's where it is. So we're gonna get a little fun, a little clever with it here. Oh no 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 no! Oh god damn it! Oh, I didn't shift click it. Alright, we're gonna retry this. Alright. We are currently dumping air from the system, so we're gonna close that. No, stop. Alright, we're going manual here. You stop right now. Thank you. You will also get closed. Come on. Come on. Really? There we go. Thank you. Alright. Considering we failed to do that time, let's attempt to get a little cheeky with it here. This time. Alright. Do we have enough space to get it rolling enough? I think so. If we absolutely slam it full throttle, let's give it a shot. Oh, you're not connected. There we go. That's part of the issue. Alright, let's try this again. Will there be enough space? Yes, there will. Let's go. Alright, but that now officially needs to come down because we are going way too fast on that. Holy hell. Now we're going to reverse. There we go. Alright, and then we're going to switch this back so that way we can quick make it an easy swap for this guy. Don't know why I'm zooming all the way like this when I could have just jumped to it, but now we're going to select this one. Might as well go in the cab because that's where our engineer actually is. Open these up because it's been sitting a while. Forward, brakes off. What game? I'm living the college nightmare right now. Oh no. Dry caught on fire on our oh my god! Holy shit! Audrey, I'm so sorry you're dealing with an absolute shit show. That's horrible. Also, Kellen, this is a game called Railroader. I got it a little while back. Oh, that's too much. Brake. But yeah, game is called Railroader. Have had it for a little while. It came out like last year, but I haven't played it a ton in the past year up until recently because I just haven't really had time. And we're not filming today, though we normally do, because Mattis was doing a guest appearance on a podcast last night that was unexpected. So he needs a little more time for research. Well, less research, more just like putting together the script. But that's okay, because I'm going to treat this morning like my Saturday morning, which I'm okay with. Oh, you're on the roll. There we go. Did not realize that our boxcar was rolling away from us. Alright, hang on. We gotta go to this one, because if I don't, this guy's gonna just start moving. Which is really annoying that it does that. And then we gotta reset this to going to Ella again. Alright, and you... I think I might just set you... Select, orders, road, reverse... Let's call it 15 for now. It is not Saturday. Shockingly enough, it is Friday. Or are you gaslighting me? Yeah, hang on, Audrey, let me actually read what you were saying. So, dryer caught fire in our dorm. I was in the shower and had to grab a robe and go outside. Oh, okay. I totally misread that. When you were first saying that, I thought you were saying, like, a hair dryer caught fire and you had to throw a robe on to, like, unplug it in the room. And I was like, oh yeah, that sucks, but, like, whatever. No, that's horrible. That's terrible. Oh my god, you had to go. Holy. Woo! Okay, yeah, no, fully understood. I mean, I wouldn't call that embarrassing because, like, in that kind of a situation, you gotta do what you gotta do. But, good lord, yeah, no, not the way to start the day. Holy hell. I kinda dig this. Just 2 trains passing in the afternoon. Nice. That's how you know stuff's going right. Yeah, and it does the automatic grade crossing. Love that. I'm glad the trains are improving things, because trains always improve things for me. Trains and track loaders. If I see a train or a track loader on any given day, in my mind I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a good day. Even it literally could be the worst day of my life, and if I saw one of them, I'd be like, you know what? It's all good. We were meant to see that. Alright, now that we're on the main, bump up the speed a little bit here. Once this is at the interchange, I'm going to take all those logging cars, hopefully they're all empty, up this little logging trail. Time will tell. Time will tell. How fast as a train like this can go? This is probably like 50-inch drivers, so... So this type of train was built in, like, the late 1800s, early 1900s. So it's not like early on, but it's also not like peak steam locomotive design. And generally the drive wheels, there's like a rule of thumb that whatever the diameter of the drive wheels are, that's roughly the top speed. It's not totally accurate because, like, the Hudsons, a lot of the Northerns and things like that, they had like 80-inch drivers, 79 to 82-inch drivers depending, and they could go like 120 miles an hour, like peak. Not that they would necessarily sustain that. I mean, the 20th Century Limited, I think, would operate above 100, or roughly at 100. But so this train could theoretically probably go like 60 miles an hour, but the way this game's designed, most of the main lines really aren't going to be anything above 30 in this game. You're kind of starting to rock back and forth, going around turns at like 25, and anything above that's a bit much. But theoretically, this could probably go like 50 or 60. I could like do a sandbox mode and just give it a shot and see what happens, but we'll give that time. Crocs are the best shower shoes. Keep a pair of shorts. Yeah, honestly, I don't own a pair of Crocs, but that's not a bad call. Also, Audrey and Kellum, what do we think of the screen setup in terms of how the game looks versus how I look versus the little chat box and stuff down at the bottom? Because I was trying to design it in a way, because I've got the 21:9 monitors, I wanted to get... It took me forever to figure out how to get the whole game screen visible, shockingly enough. Oh, come on. I don't think we're going to have enough space. Oh no, we're totally not. Oh, and am I gonna crash into something? No, alright, cool. There's nothing here. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Alright, 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 alright. And that's what I was worried about. And we lost $4 for damage. Alright, whatever. Now we gotta push this thing back on the track because the person in this game, the guy, look at this guy. Absolute Hulkster. Ready for this? Back on. One shove. One shove and we're back on the rails. Absolute madman. Absolute unit. Look at the size. Like, this is probably like an average size. Like, this is one of the things that I love about trains. Is like, this is a relatively small locomotive. But that's small in scale. Sorry, I'm getting on my shit. Alright, so, I mean, that's technically where it needs to be. But I don't want it there. I'm really picky about this. This is totally inefficient, and I play this game inefficiently frequently. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. I was doing the... Hang on, let's... Are we... No, we're not connected. Alright, good. So yeah, I'm playing this game inefficiently because I want all of this in line, ready to go, and I want the other parts free, so that way I can move things back and forth as needed. I might move this caboose. I don't know what... I feel like you get a bonus if you put a caboose on your train, but it's just so... feels unnecessary. Anyway, so we're going to run this thing back and attach it back here because I'm fake OCD. Debatably real OCD. And there are, so part of the reason why I'm adjusting stuff down here, right up this guy right here above my head, that's all the controls. But if you see the number in that top right corner, that's your speed. And generally in a yard, especially going over these switches and such, you want to avoid going above 15 for the most part. Oh wait, hang on. I'm gonna let that ride. This guy needs to stand down. That's one thing that's a little annoying, is you have to really like monitor that, because it'll just move back and forth, or it'll keep going forward, which is great for when you have more stations unlocked. I don't yet. I'm in the middle of repairing the bridge that needs to be repaired for that. But yeah, considering I've got 2 stations and it just goes back and forth like a trolley between the 2 of them, I really have to like keep an eye on that. Speaking of which, come on, there we go. You also need to change specifically where it's going each time, which is fine, but it's just one of those little deals. Keeps things from being too automated, which is nice. My associate Dr. Brown and I are curious if one of these could get up to, say, 90 miles an hour. Don't you mean 88? Oh, I did the... Did I do that wrong? Did I screw myself over? Oh, no. Alright, sweet. Theoretically, I think you're running into... The biggest issue is with the size, the diameter of the drive wheels. You're running into the limitation of how quickly the the rods and the pistons can actually reciprocate. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to say yes. And again, this is just me being inefficient, because I totally could just leave it there and it's not a problem. But I don't like doing that. There we go. We're all attached there. Put the handbrake on. Swap it to reverse. Give a little signal that we're going to reverse. And oh. There we go. Yeah, we're good. Alright. And then we're just going to have this guy run on this main track here. Have you swap to this one, because all other freight is pretty much done, except for now we're going to get ready to move these logs out. And there's one left, so we can couple up, we can wait, then we can finally bring that up to the logging camp. You're going too fast. There we go. That should be where it needs to be, and you can row to reverse back to the next station. Let's see if it listens, because sometimes it doesn't. Nice. And we'll just ride this bad boy for now. Never gets old. It's nice to be able to stick your head out, because then you can still see. This is one of the many reasons I love the ultra-wide monitor, is because I can see all of the controls as I need to, and I can also look all over here, know exactly what I need to do and where I need to go. It's nice. It's nice. I will never not have one of these at least. Also, one of the greatest things about Prime and some of the other streaming platforms is that they crop their films on platform, so that way when it is widescreen, it takes up this full screen, and it is a religious experience. Watching Lawrence of Arabia on this feels like what it might have felt like actually watching it in a theater. Not quite to that level, but it's certainly better than a TV with the black bars and all that fun stuff. we go. Glad hands. Now the train is together. Release that handbrake. And might as well oil these up while we're waiting. So we're just waiting for this one guy. And then we'll take this all up the mountain. And it's good that the logs come down the mountain and the empty flat cars go up the mountain right now, because this loco here, both of them that I have, would not have enough force to push all of these cars full of logs up the mountain, which is part of the reason why I'm looking forward to getting another one. So we will set our man here to wait and watch. Let's check in on this one. Cool. What monitor are you running? It's the Dell ultra wide. When I got it, it was like $500 or something like that, 500 or 600. I have two of them. Gotta love business expenses. But it's the, I don't know if it says it anywhere on it, but it's like the ultra wide gaming monitor. It's not like crazy. I mean, it is 1440. Welcome back, Audrey. I'm glad you were able to manage through the scenario, though. But yeah, so it's the Dell Ultra Wide 21:9. Yeah, not crazy expensive, not crazy like specs or anything, but it is technically a gaming monitor. It's 1440 instead of 1080. I had a laptop that was 4K for a while, and I love higher resolution things, but no, 21:9, not 29:9. Yeah, I love high resolution because like it bothers me when I can see the pixels. Like right now, even with this, I can see all of the pixels like along the edge of this piping here, and some other places, which like is okay, but I'm just annoying like that. I still got that one. But yeah. You know, I thought we were gonna need a secondary passenger car, because like sometimes these stations fill up. So this thing has a capacity of 60, as you can see, and sometimes these fill up to like 64. I don't know, because it's like $4,000 for an additional passenger car, and it's $10,000 for. So I really want this consolidation for a couple of reasons. One, because the mogul I'm using for freight only has a tractive effort of 16,000. The consolidation has 25,000. And these 10-wheelers are better for passenger service. But they're really only going to be necessary when I start adding more. When it gets to a point where this 10-wheeler can't handle the cars at speed, then I'll swap to this 10-wheeler. Mainly because otherwise I would do the American, but that's a 440. It's like a modern 440, and I just hate that. I hate that style. Not a fan. I know it's kind of weird, but I just don't love it. Um, but that's the thing is because like after this 10-wheeler and then the American, really um, the next in line for passenger service would be the Pacific, which is 20 grand as opposed to 9. Granted, the tractive effort is like double, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking locomotive. Not quite a Hudson, you know, just my opinion, but really pretty. And then after this, I'd probably do the logging Mikado, even though really we want that Berkshire. We want that Berkshire. The Santa Fe is nuts. Um, the Decapod would be good at some point. And we're not doing diesels, but that's the problem. So this 4,400, 4,000 because of the discount, because we're keeping people happy on the railroad, thankfully, is the price of one of these. And then, they get even more expensive as you get like a Palace car or like the Osgood Bradley, like the newer stuff that can hold more passengers, which is great. But it's definitely a lot heavier. It's like double the weight, but it's also, keeps everything concise and whatnot. These Pullmans were like old school style. Obviously like built 1900, and then the Osgood Bradleys in 1915. They're kind of the more like the longer, more modern style. I keep saying modern. I'm like, my time frame is in like 1942 right now. And then there's all these other cars. So, but for now, we should be loaded up. Yep. And so we got to make this one road back 25 to the other station. Let's make sure that it goes. And where are we in terms of, we're still waiting for that log. So while we wait for that, we're going to follow VFRR number 1 as it goes to the next station. And while that happens, I'm going to hit the bathroom. So I'll be back. Now tell me how relaxing that was, just watching this guy do its thing. It's gotta be fun. It's gotta be nice. I enjoy it. Yeah, Kellen, in terms of the 1440 versus 4K, yeah, agreed. But as a reminder, I'm at like a foot away from this screen for most of my life at this point. So, so when you're this close to it, you can see the pixels. But yeah, so I think that's why I notice. Normally it's a little further back, so if you see, like, this one is currently in front of the other one a little bit because they're on pivots. So like maybe 2 feet at times. But yeah, so that's where I'm talking to you guys. That's that. My mug. This is extremely chaotic. But yeah, and this is just like resting on there. Hopefully there's not an earthquake, because this will absolutely fall. And I wish I was joking, but there was at one point, I had the camera, so before we had the studio, I would have all of my camera stuff. Like, I would bring it back to my place every time. I was away one weekend, I think it was in Rochester with Kat, and I had the camera sitting on top of this, it's like a little rack that I built, where that flag is now, was where the whole camera was just sitting upright, and it is not, like, it's, you know, it's not an incredibly well-balanced thing. So I was away in a different state, and we had an earthquake. So I'm just sitting there with heart palpitations, hoping that the cinema camera we use for our show, hoping it didn't just fall off of a shelf that it was standing on or sitting on or whatever. But yeah, so that was stressful. It was fine, but that was stressful. Not like this, which is relaxing. There we go. That's it. Your mom drove up here with your baby sister. This is so dumb. They wanted to visit Dry on Incredible. Yeah, well, hopefully they'll treat you to a nice lunch after an absolute mess like that occurred. Oh wow, they deboarded quickly. Okay. Control click. Passengers to Whittier. Come on. All right, we're gonna make time go a little faster for the sake of not wanting to wait for this log as long. It minimizes the amount of passenger runs I can do, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Because no matter how quickly the game goes, the passengers load and unload at the same speed, and you're running the trains at the same speed, like on rails. But let's make sure it goes. Sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to speed up a bit is because the logs make you way more money than passenger service. So I guess we could do wait an hour? I don't know. We'll see. Audrey, I am so glad you're in the same boat, because trains are sick. I'm actually thinking about later in the year. So the other reason that I wanted the consolidation is it's a 280, and it is a Baldwin built consolidation, which is one of the main companies that built a lot of these trains. And if you look up the New Hope and Ivyland Railroad number 40, that was the steam locomotive that I kind of grew up on. You know, I'd been to Strasbourg a couple times as a kid, even for like Thomas and stuff, but that locomotive really sealed the deal for me. It's a beautiful locomotive. It's really cinematic. The dream is that I have a whole like novel / film outline, like idea for a movie heavily involving trains. It's more of like a mafia cautionary tale type thing. But the whole reason I did it is because I wanted to make a movie centered around trains that would make everybody love trains as much as I do. I know that's not possible because most people don't care about trains, which is fine. Everybody has their own thing. But it's a goal, it's a hope, it's a desire. Anyway, so the New Hope and Island number 40, the 280 consolidation, the lowest level one in this game that I'm trying to get next, looks very similar to NHNI 40. I've also wanted to, because I have some model railroad stuff, I've got 1 diesel and 2 steam locomotives. They're both Hudsons, which is funny, because when I was younger, I didn't love the Hudsons. I preferred Northerns. And when I talk about that, Hudsons are, if you look up a New York Central Hudson, it is a 464. It was like their mainline passenger train during like the high point of the 20th Century Limited and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful locomotive. But I usually prefer the Northerns, which is a 484 rather than a 464. When I'm using those names, it's the wheel configuration if you're not familiar with it. And I just like the evenness of 4 driving wheels rather than 3. But then I started to really kind of appreciate the other elements of the Hudson, specifically just the aesthetic design. Hang on, here we go. So I have a book all about the Hudsons, right? So I'm gonna bore you about it while we watch this 10-wheeler take this train to the next stop. So the Hudsons you're probably going to be familiar with are these. It's the Dreyfus Streamlined Hudsons. And shockingly enough, I don't love this style. Not a huge fan. I think the streamlining's cool, but I prefer the rough and rugged look of a non-streamlined locomotive. Let me see if there's a good... So, like, one thing I love is the location of the headlight on a Hudson, because obviously, like, if you look at the train that's currently pulling, the headlight's in a slightly different location. This just looks badass to me. I'm trying to find a way where the glare isn't an issue. There we go. Oh, there we go. I can just block it with that. Kind of. Yeah, so it's chonk. It's a chonky train, chonky locomotive, which I enjoy. And yeah, so it's just badass. They're just huge. They look powerful. I mean, they were powerful. Unfortunately, none of them survived. Oh god, wait, is this gonna go... Oh yeah, we're good. And then one thing I also loved about them was there's a thing, so there's normal tenders, which is the place where the water and coal is kept, and then there's PT4 tenders for these guys. And let me see if I can find a good comparison. So here's one with a normal tender, which it holds like a certain tonnage of water, coal. Just keep the size in relation to the locomotive in mind. It's probably about like half, maybe 2/3 the length of the locomotive. And then when you look at the PT4 tenders, they're just massive. They're huge. They're like the size of the locomotive. They're nuts. And a lot of people who like Hudsons don't like them because they were so big and chonky. Sorry, I'm trying to like figure out how to hold this book properly. But I love it because it's huge. Anyway, that's me ranting about steam locomotives that no longer exist. The kind of sad thing about it is the New York Central didn't preserve any of them. So they bumped up to Northerns, which is basically the Hudson, but with an extra drive wheel. And they didn't... I think there's a Mohawk that's preserved, which is like a Northern, but it has one less trailing wheel. And to explain what driving and trailing wheels are and stuff, so these are guide wheels in the front on that manual. These are the drive wheels, and then imagine these guide wheels behind. So like if this wheel was moved up here, and they had a little wheel here like this, that would be a trailing wheel. Some people call it like a firebox wheel. It's, different names for different people. But yeah. So anyway, that's my little rant about Hudsons. I got 2 of those in HO scale. I've got a Norfolk Southern Dash 9 in HO. I have some cars, and that's about it. I don't really have anywhere to set it up as of right now because model railroads take up a lot of space, and they're also not cheap. So one day we'll get there. One day. The biggest thing I need to learn how to do right now is stop spending money. Oh, is there a reason? Is there a reason? Something's not working right. Hang on. Oop. Okay. Well, my game appears to not be responding properly, which is not great. Oh, okay. Alright, well, first of all, I'm going to save it just in case something like that happens to scare me again. For whatever reason, despite the fact that I was clicking on the game, down here you'll see my selection was still on Streamlabs for some reason, so we're okay. So now we can start loading more passengers. Sorry, I just got to pop up on another window, and I don't know what it is because it's just white. Oh. It's just McAfee telling me I have a million issues with the computer. Yeah, the downside of downloading a bunch of videos to use in the Friday videos is that I have to use a bunch of like really bad web-based YouTube video downloaders, and it definitely gives this computer viruses, and there's not really a better option that I'm aware of. So yeah, that's probably part of the reason that my computer is not behaving as I would like it to the vast majority of the time. All right, orders road forward 25. Okay. Ooh, that's... And now we've just peaked, and I bet I'm going to be real quiet now. Filters, edit filters, add filter, limiter, add. Testing. Testing the filter. Cool. Okay, so fun little thing that just happened is that let me know if you guys can hear me now, by the way. But yeah, my headset died, so I had to make a quick swap there. Yeah, the funny thing is this microphone should sound better anyway. And let me know if you can still hear the game. Let me jump over to the other locomotive. Let me know, can you hear this? As long as you can hear me and the locomotive, we'll be good. Excuse me, Audrey, this one's a whistle. All right, good. I'm glad things are operating semi as they should. Yeah, I was gonna set this version of the setup up in the beginning, but I figured the other one would be just easier. But let me know if this sounds better, because it theoretically should. But I'm curious. Yes, whistle. All right, well, now that this one's good to go, you know, that's doing its own thing, and we finally have, oh, that's fast, all empty cars, which means, both sound great. What is the microphone? This is a I think it's a Logitech like Q91 or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird type. Anyway, now that all these cars are empty, we can finally run up to the log mill or the logging site and get some real money flowing in here. So we are going to, because we've been sitting for a while, we're going to open the cylinder cocks. I'm going to throw this into reverse. 100% reverse, take off the brake. And hang on, gotta get that bell going. Let people know we're going in reverse with 3 whistle pulls. And throttle that bad boy back. And I hate that this box is here, so it's hard to see in reverse. Yeah, now we got a proper train going. Oh, Audrey, you're fine. I just teasing. And, oh, this I really want to throw, so we're not unnecessarily going through switches that we don't need to go through. Also, if you notice in this bottom left corner, when I throw the train brake on, if you can read that, these will get yellow, and then it'll, you know, kind of like pan one side or the other. That's because it's mimicking the actual physics of how train brakes work. So if you're not aware, and I believe this is still accurate to today, so this guy right here, if you can hear the tonk, 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 tonk. So this is actually an air compressor that's running off of the pressurized steam. And I don't know, I guess this is the, I don't know where, oh yeah, these are probably the air cylinders. But so what that runs to is, go away. That runs to these hoses, which connect all along down the train. And these are the brake hoses. And the way brakes on a locomotive work is that when you shut off the air, so let's do that, and then let's disconnect this guy. So generally what that will do
is, and if I dump the air out of this one, so I did that in a way that closed both of them. If I open that, air will start to leave, and then the brakes will automatically close. And it's a safety feature, so that way, if everything is running improperly, it'll stop itself. But so it's a long way of saying that the brakes on a train are by default pressed, and then the air pressure opens the brakes. So when you're hitting the brakes here, because there's the get back in your seat. There's the independent, which is just the brakes for the actual locomotive itself, and then there's the train brake, which activates all of that. It is releasing pressure from the line, thus closing the brakes. But when doing that, because it's releasing pressure, it does it, the pressure doesn't release all at once. It radiates down the train. So it does that accurately to the point where if you're trying to apply a lot of brake in one go and then you release it, you have to kind of work with the throttle and the brake properly to get to the position that you want to be in. Because if you put too much brake on and then slam it, it doesn't immediately release the brake. You still have brake pressure for a while until the system fully pressurizes again from the locomotive all the way down to the other end. So it's cool. I like the fact that they model that. Sorry, I know the bell's probably a little annoying. But yeah, so we should be good to go. We're all linked up now. There's no issues. Look down the smokestack just for fun. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch this switch to get us ready to go on the main. This one over here should automatically be switched. I say automatically, that's not automatic, it's just that we've done that before. And then this one, gotta switch that to get on there. So now we're ready to go. Release the brakes. Get that reverser fully forward. Open that throttle up. And we're on the move. You like the bell? Alright, cool. That's good, because despite the game not actually requiring it, the bell is generally utilized for in yards and places like this, or anytime you're starting to move, as it's the warning bell. So instead of just laying on the whistle the whole time, you have an active bell, kind of like the beeping of a truck backing up. So, but anyway, so. See, now this is the issue, right? So if you look up here in the top left, it says switch against. What that means, and I'll show you momentarily, is that this guy went beyond the station because I did not get there in time to get it to go back, and, get new passengers and such. So we're going to set this guy to road 15 for safety as it goes up to the logging camp, and then we're going to manually operate this guy for a little bit, because if I set it to automatic, it's going to bypass that station for all the fun reasons you would imagine. So let's get it in reverse. Brake off, throttle on. Let's get moving. And then another thing worth knowing about trains that I will touch on as soon as we're through this crossing. is that so the controls that I'm using down here, there's the train brake, there's the independent, which we were just talking about, and then there is also the throttle and the reverser. And I'll talk a little bit more about that once we get this thing where it needs to be so we can get new passengers. Alright, and then control click this. Passenger Whittier. And we'll get those 41 people for $41. Come on, let me select. There we go. Cool. And then we'll hop back to this one. So this is the, I'll switch this one to manual real quick. So select. There's manual. The reverser here essentially controls how much the top cylinder is moving, the not necessarily the regulator, but the best way to show it is visually. Okay, so the way a steam locomotive operates is you have the running gear, and you've got the, hang on, wait, we need to close that. Close that, there we go. All right, so you've got the running gear here, and you've got the main piston, which is, this is the power piston. You've got the valve up here that controls where the steam is going, and then it all connects on the valve gear, essentially. So there's a valve up here that kind of looks like a dumbbell or a bone, and the centerpiece is the intake, and it feeds in. There's like a little disc in here that slides back and forth along this rod, and steam pressure will come into one side, force the disc over this direction, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. What this valve does is that it allows steam into one side of the disc to push it forward, and similarly to push it back. But because it's, 175 psi of steam in there on the bigger engine that's higher, you need an exhaust. So the reason for that little bone dumbbell style is there's a center there's a center line that is the infeed, and then there are two on the outsides. One here, so like there's a hole in the center which lets steam in, and then there's one on each end that lets it out up to the stack. And that is combined with the rest of this to control where the inflow is going and which side is letting steam out of. Because when the piston's coming this direction, the steam needs to exit through that side, and then vice versa. So that little bone valve controls that. But so what the reverser does is it controls how much that valve moves. And the reason that you do that is because you've got the throttle, which controls how much steam is coming from the boiler through this pipe and then into the cylinders. But then you also control the level of travel of this little valve here, and then also the efficiency of, how long it'll let steam into it. Kind of like a camshaft and stuff like that, but, would a turbine be more efficient than a piston? Depends on what you're doing it for. A turbine would be great for generating electricity. I don't think a turbine would technically be, because the thing is that I believe with a turbine, it's really good for speed, not so much for torque. And I was actually just watching a video on this last night. There's steam engines are cool in the sense that they are variable horsepower machines, but constant torque, versus like diesels or diesel electrics that are, oh, hang on, you know what? We're going to stop real quick because I want to make sure that these cars are going to go to the right place. So these go to Connolly Creek L1. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. Um, let's make sure that it's running. Essentially, it's the difference between, you've got immediate maximum torque that never changes with a steam engine versus a turbine. I just feel like trying to get a turbine spinning, like, I guess I'm thinking of it as like directly mechanically connected to the wheels. I don't know. I don't know. That's because we use turbines for the engine when I was on the sub. So yeah, so that's the question I have then for you is, was that a turbine that directly was connected to the propellers, or was that a turbine that spun an electric generator that then gave power to the propellers? Because my instinct tells me that a turbine would be better. Plus, there's going to be a lot less resistance in water versus, like, example, what we're doing here. We're going on land on a grade. Now, granted, the reason that, trains existed in one way or another. Is that L2? All right, yeah, so cool. We can disconnect here. Hang on. Oh, wow. It's already loading up quite quickly. Alright, cool. I'm gonna reverse that here. But I'd imagine, like, a turbine trying to push this stuff wouldn't work quite well. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. I know they did use turbine locomotives existed. Maybe I'm just kind of talking out of my ass here. I don't know why they didn't take, like, they experimented with it, because I remember reading about this. But I don't know why they went against it. But if you want to Google that for me real quick, I would love to learn. Because otherwise I'm kind of just talking out of my ass here. As much as I'd love to sit here and be the end-all be-all on trains, there are plenty of things about this topic that I do not know. Alright, now... see? Alright, so, prime example. Now, this is totally full after not a whole lot of time, and there's 24 passengers waiting. So, I'm wondering if I should get another car. Select. I don't know, what do you guys think? Turbine to the screw through reduction gears. I wasn't thinking about the added friction of track. Yeah, well, that's the other thing, is like, because you're, when, I mean, with a well-balanced system, there's not a ton of friction on rails. That's kind of the whole reason why they did it. But it's less the friction of the rails, it's more the weight of the cars on it. So I don't know how a turbine would fare. Next generation boat. I would love to see how they're going to do electric drive boats, because I agree. I think it's coming. I think it'll be good. I think the biggest issue they have is power density. I mean, you could probably do its power density and its weight. I think it'd be easiest for, like, large displacement vessels. Pleasure craft, different story. I think that one's going to be tough. Hang on real quick, is that properly? Yeah, we're good. Alright, reverser forward, throttle up, independent off. Let's get moving. But yeah, I'd be really curious to see how they plan to do recreational craft electrically, because the size to weight ratio there just doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about planing vessels rather than displacement or even semi-displacement. But yeah, I think like fishing trawlers and especially like the larger things like cargo and stuff, you know, you'll be able to do all that relatively easily. And I say relatively. I will be really curious if in larger transportation formats, such as cargo and cruises and such, if sail doesn't come back pretty intensely. That would surprise me. Something about trains, man. I don't know what to tell you. I just love the aesthetic look of it. You know what it is? Part of it is I've always really loved things that prioritized function over form. To me, there's an intrinsic beauty in something that was designed almost entirely for a purpose rather than an aesthetic. Like, I don't know. I love pretty things. I love when things are designed to be pretty. I think it's cool. But in my mind, it doesn't compare to something like this, which is almost entirely, like, you know, there's some aesthetic choices in the lettering, font, and such. But, you know, the placement of the headlights and all these, like, marker lights and the steam domes, the bell, you know, even the cap on the, like, I love these little caps on the lights. There's just something about them I absolutely love. But yeah, purpose-built things really do the opposite of grind my gears. I don't know. Whatever the opposite of grind your gears would be. I think I know what it would be, but I'm not saying that. Butter your toast. Yep, that works. That's a nice PG way to look at it. So part of the other reason I'm still kind of debating, I know I'm hungry, yeah, I'm gonna start getting hungry too. Part of the reason I'm debating which way I want to go in terms of getting the additional passenger car and things like that is I'm currently in the middle of expanding the railroad. I'm waiting on parts to repair a bridge. Kind of ironic actually, because a bunch of bridges are out and stuff in this game from like a flood, and it's set in Appalachia, so we won't discuss the relevance of that. Is that pronounced Pixis Ocean? Pixies Ocean? That's cool. I'm gonna have to look that up because that sounds baller. All right, I'm just gonna leave this here because this should load up relatively quickly. And like these ones are already almost full. So, and we can come in and check on this guy. I'm just gonna need it. How many people do we have? Please tell me, please tell me, please tell me, please tell me. Yeah, like we got 64 passengers right now. What the hell? I bet it's. I wonder if the game takes into account time of day in terms of like how many passengers there are and the needs of them, because this is 5:30 right now in game time, and this is more passengers than we were getting in the afternoon. So I'm gonna bet it does. Um, that's kind of wild, actually. That's sweet. Mothman stole my Steam piston in point. That's fantastic. But yeah, do we think? What do we think? Should I plan to get a second car, or should I hope to get a third locomotive? I think the key is going to be. So the location is. Where's the bridge? Where's the bridge? Let's get a. Oh, bridge site. There we go. Duh. So this bridge is currently being rebuilt. I'm waiting on more cars with more supplies for it. And then there's like a whole new section of the railroad that I'm going to have access to. I think it's one station. I'm not sure how many. Audrey, you can be whatever you want to be for Halloween. Go for it. But yeah, I'm debating whether or not, because it's we'll see how much money we have at the end of today. But I'm thinking like it's $4,000 versus 10, and I have 9.8. So I have a feeling we're going to need the passenger cars more than anything, which is mildly annoying, but at least this train will look a little better with the red lights for eyeballs. I'm sure you can find some of them, like some LED lights on Amazon for relatively inexpensively. I'd be shocked if you couldn't. Also, I am putting the time down a little bit. I'm actually going to go real time for a little bit, because with the evening rush, as it seems, I don't want to miss any passengers. And considering I've only got one car that fits 60 people max, we're getting there. All right, orders, forward road. Let's go. Nice. Let's see where we are with the logs. Check. What are the freightway bills? Uh-huh. So we got a wood chips car that's ready to go, and we've got a dimensional lumber car that's ready to go. It's 2 different gondolas, 40 tons. Interesting. I was hoping we'd be able to do 2 runs of logs today, but I don't think we're going to be able to. All right, but yeah, I need input from y'all. Passenger car or third locomotive. I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I just want to hear. I want to hear confirmation before, because I'm gonna need to purchase it now, or sooner than later. Because if I want to use either of them for the next day, it's gonna be necessary. So I don't know. Audrey says third. More train. We can have more trains. There'll be longer trains. I think. I think we're gonna need the passenger car. I don't know. I don't know. Well, cause hang on. So what's company window, railroad? What are the waybills at Ella? Okay, you know best. Yeah, I'm just tentative because I have a feeling that I'm not really gonna have a lot of means to use it tomorrow. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn. I'm very torn. What are the outstanding waybills? Hmm. What is... There's a tab that will show me things I need to know. Nope. Oh, right. Okay, so it'll... Oh, sounds like... Do I hear chuffing? Do we have a train coming in? Yeah, train's definitely coming in. Hmm. Sorry, I'm just running through numbers in my mind. So what I'm trying to figure out is, I think we can do more with the logging sites with this guy, and then other industries handle with another locomotive, and then have that. Hmm. I don't know. I do know we need more money. Oh, ay, ay. Hmm. Oh, he's ready to go. Like 100%. All right, so I was thinking about doing it all in one go, but I think the easiest option is going to be doing 2 trips. So we're going to do that, especially considering the sun is actively setting, and there are other things that need to go to the interchange if we want to make some more money today. So let's give her a rip. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do another locomotive. I may regret it, but I think that's the move I'm doing. Forget what headlight is. There we go. It's J. See you, Audrey. Have a good day. All right, bathroom break 2.0. And we're back. Let's put that to manual. Cool. It stopped on it. Nice. That's what I was hoping for. Extinguish that. Nope, 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 nope. You're going forward, brother. Yeah, Kellen, I fully agree. This is a very aesthetically pleasing game. That's part of why I enjoy it. And yes, did not know that it was the same at C, but yes, 3 whistles for reverse, 2 for forward, 1 for stationary, and then for like railroad crossings with roads, it's 2 longs, a short, and a long. I don't know if there's any others. There may be, but those are the 4 main ones that I'm aware of. Alright, so that one's going... That one's there, that one's there. Okay. I think I'm gonna put... little complicated with this one. So that switched, that switched. That wasn't needed to be. Come on. Ooh, Kellen, that sounds so relaxing. Damn it. Not as good as Molly's. It might be the best I've had. Really? I'm surprised that you enjoyed Molly's shepherd's pie as much as you did. I mean, good on you. But I've never been a huge pie person, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like in terms of like pies with like meat and stuff in them. What's the problem? Oh, that's not what I wanted. I guess the glad hands weren't open. Yep, that was it. I say, well, I can't do beans because of textures. That makes sense. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, beans I don't particularly mind, but yeah, I'd give a shepherd's pie or something of the like another go. I'm not that vehemently against it. I just know last time I tried it, wasn't a huge fan. But, you know, things change. I wasn't a huge fan of Cheese Whiz on cheesesteaks until I had one this summer at a place that, like, does it really well. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, makes sense. Having fun doing different angles of train operations. It's true. What do they say? What's the statement? It's like variety is the spice of life or something like that. But I think there's a lot of validity to it. Little too close. There we go. I like that there's breeze mechanics on the flowers here. That's nice. Camera's being weird. Oh, that's right. This guy's been stopped here a little too long. Alright, yeah, let's get this guy moving. And I think it's 7 years that taste buds have changed, so you might like something you didn't like before. I'm just out to lunch on that. And Google says I'm not to Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the 7 years thing is that, like, all of the cells in your body, I don't want to say reproduce, but change up. Yeah, not reproduce. Oh, they get replaced every 7 years. So they all replace themselves at different rates, but I think throughout the course of 7 years, at that point, everything is officially different. And I think that's where that, you may be coming up with that. That's just my guess. I also could be out to lunch on that, but only one way to know for sure. All right, what do we think? Once we get these two to the interchange, do we think that the logs up at Connolly are going to be ready or not? I'm not going to check yet. I'm not going to check until we're done this, despite me wanting to. But my guess is that they're going to be almost ready by the time we get up there. Cool. All right. taste buds every 2 weeks? It's nuts. So yeah, I'm just gonna run around and put these two on the other end of this, because, as I said earlier, I am a little, OCD about that. Right. Don't want to throw that one. We want to throw that one. That's a beautiful shot right there. I'm not bragging, I'm just by happenstance the way it laid. Thank you, Kellen. Sweet. More moolah. I think we're good in terms of cars and where they need to go. I think the last thing to do for the day is the remaining logs. So I'm going to set all these, make sure they're good to go. That's good. I'm going to check this depot here. Yep. So that's the logs that are almost ready to go. And so I think the plan here is going to be keep the, I think I'm going to have that be the last passenger service for the day. And then this will be the last freight for the day. And then hopefully I'll be done by 3 real world time. Because despite having a nice chill train-centric morning, because I was up until 3 getting the video done last night, and I woke up late, much later than I wanted to. I was hoping to do this for a few hours, like starting at 8 or 9 and then be done by noon, but no, I started at noon and I'll be done by 3 or however long it has been or will have been. But yeah, I unfortunately still have things that I need to get done today. Fun. But we got a little break here, which isn't bad. Don't mind me, I'm gonna have some Bucky's Sours. I was in Texas last weekend, and you better believe I needed to get as many as I could. Alright, now that this one's set up and ready to roll, I'm gonna put this one on that because we gotta operate this guy a little bit more specifically. Conditions 88, not great, could be better. Select. And we're gonna bring this one home. Make sure all these switches are thrown properly. Yeah, Bucky's is great, Kellen. It's a shame though, because the sours I got, and last time I got them too, they don't have the little Bucky logo on them anymore. They're just blank, which is kind of sad. Not totally sure why they're doing that now, but I mean maybe it's just less expensive, but it's kind of a shame. And with that. Don't need the bell right now. Yeah, I was worried about that. I just flipped it. What the heck? Yeah, no, Budabucky's currently. Come on. There we go. Just gonna make sure I flip this one back. I did. Love to see it. Logs are unloading. Love to see it. I do wish there was a sound effect for the coal filling up, but the game is still in early access, so I have a feeling they'll get there. Nice. This is the smoothest I've backed up into these so far in the game. Let's make sure that the other train's not gonna like run into us. Nope. But it's getting close. I hear it. I can hear it before I can see it. Hmm. Well. Nice. I'm gonna get this one a little bit further back. Nice. Good stuff. While we're right here, since we're literally like right under them, might as well get coal and water before finishing the job. No, quite under it, I see. Little far. Nice. Cool. All right. Let's get these logs on their proper track, and then we'll call it a day. Nice. Let's just make sure that they're technically, yep, they're far enough down. While that accelerates, I just want to check to make sure. And what are the 7 cars that are supposedly outstanding? I'm imagining it's the logging cars that are where they need to be, but supposedly they don't register until midnight or something. Yep. Interesting. Thought I switched that. Guess I didn't. And I have no interest in leaving it in front of the other one. Nice. We did it. That's the day. Oh, I think it's the first time I've actually had both of these locomotives sitting in the shed at the same time. But yeah, let me see if will this stuff repair automatically. Equipment. Cool. All right. We have set up the repairs. Oh. We have parked them. We have filled them with coal and water. And we're ready for the next day. Normally I would sleep because that would tell me how much money I've gotten for some of the things in the interchange. It would bring all the new cars in, and it would tell me how much money I got for the lumber. But I'm going to save that for the next time I log on. Whether that's here or like whether that's online or private or whatnot. But to those who stopped by and joined for a little bit of my little Valley Forge Railroad excursion, freight service, all that fun stuff, appreciate it. It was cool, it was relaxing, it was a good way for me to start my day. It's kind of horrific that starting the day ends at 3 in the afternoon for me today, but we're trying to fix our sleep schedule, but we'll see. Anyway, Kellen, appreciate it. Audrey, if you ever end up watching this back, thank you. And for everybody else, appreciate it. And I will see y'all later. Kellen, probably at some point. I think... it's up to Kat. If she wants to, then yes, we will. Also, yeah, gonna Yeah, I'll ask her. I'm gonna see if she wants to do like a dinner or something tonight. So I'll ask her then, see if she has any interest in doing one in the not too near future. Not a problem, Kellen. Thank you for coming by. I'm just glad anybody had any interest in this in general. I can do more of these in the future if they were actually enjoyable. If not, no big deal. I like the game, and it's cool to be able to chat a little bit while I play. But considering how quiet I was most of it, I'm sure you can imagine it's not a chore for me to just do it on my own. All right, cool. Then maybe I'll do it again in the future. Anyway, thank you again, and yeah, Kel and I, if I don't talk to you in Discord, I will see you on Monday. That's right, because we don't do the show on Sundays anymore.